All right, let's talk India versus South Africa. Whenever these two giants face off in T20 cricket, everyone has an opinion, right? But what do the numbers actually say? In this breakdown, we're going to dig deep into the stats to see who really has the edge.
So, here we are, Barabadi Stadium in Cuttack. Now, on the surface, this looks like a classic showdown between two cricket powerhouses. But you know what? The data tells a much more interesting, a much more complex story. So, is recent form going to win the day? Or does history have a little twist in store for us?
Okay, first up, let's talk momentum. Because in T20 cricket, confidence, that's a huge deal, right? So how are these two teams actually feeling coming into this series? Well, their recent games tell us everything we need to know.
And wow, just take a look at their last 5 matches. You can see right away we're talking about two teams heading in completely opposite directions. And this isn't just about wins and losses, you guys. This is a snapshot of their confidence, their rhythm, right now.
I mean, the difference is just staggering. You've got India, who are absolutely flying with 4 wins in their last 5, and then you have South Africa, who are in a bit of a slump, let's be honest. They've only managed 1 win in their last 5. That is a massive, massive confidence gap as we head into Game 1.
And if we zoom out a bit and look at the last 10 matches, that trend becomes even more obvious. It's almost unbelievable. India has a ridiculous 90% win rate. South Africa, they're down at just 30%. So if you're going on recent form alone, this looks like a slam dunk for India. Case closed, right?
Well, not so fast. A series like this isn't just about who's hot right now. It's about history. It's about the rivalry. So let's shift gears and look at the head-to-head record. This is where the story starts to get a little more complicated.
Okay, so check this out. When these two teams play each other directly, the last 10 times, things get much tighter. India's still ahead, but only just 6-4. What does that tell us? It tells us that no matter what their overall form looks like, South Africa knows how to step up and give India a real fight.
And if we look at their entire T20 history against each other, India's advantage is still there, 18 wins to 12. So let's recap. So far, all the evidence, recent form, long-term history, it all seems to be pointing to an Indian victory. But, and this is a big but, the venue might just flip this whole thing on its head.
You know, every cricket ground has its own little quirks, its own personality. And Barabadi Stadium in Cuttack, it might just be the ultimate wildcard that completely messes with all the data we've looked at so far.
So what's the first secret of Cuttack? Simple. The toss is absolutely king. Get this, a whopping 75% of matches here are won by the team that bowls first. That means a simple coin flip could literally have a massive impact on the game before a single ball is bowled. That's crazy.
All right, and what about the bowlers? Who does this pitch favor? Well, it's a pretty close race, but the spinners have a slight edge here, taking about 52% of the wickets. So that tells you to keep a close eye on the battle in those middle overs. That's where the game could be won or lost.
Okay, so we have the form, we have the history, we have the pitch conditions. It all seems to be pointing one way. But just wait, because when we look at how these specific teams have played at this specific ground, oh man, the entire story gets turned upside down.
This is where it gets wild. At Cuttack, India's win rate, which is usually so dominant, just plummets to 33%. For a team that means pretty much everywhere, this ground is like their kryptonite. And for South Africa, their record here is, well, it's the complete opposite.
Yep, you heard that right. 100%. South Africa has a perfect, undefeated record at this venue. They've played here, they've won here, every single time. All of a sudden, India's home advantage doesn't look like an advantage at all, does it? It looks more like a trap.
Okay, so what in the world do we make of all this? We've got data points pulling us in totally different directions. Let's try to weigh all the evidence.
So in one corner, you've got India, the team that's on an absolute tear. They're in red-hot form, and they have the overall history on their side. By pretty much every normal metric, they should be the favorites. But in the other corner, you have South Africa, a team that walks onto this specific patch of grass with a perfect 100% winning record.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? What's more powerful, a team's blistering hot streak or a venue's weird historical jinx? That is exactly what this match is going to tell us. It's a classic